One of the most important reasons coming from the Russian side for the onslaught against Ukraine is NATO's eastward expansion towards its border. Russian experts have argued that NATO's presence along its border is a security threat. With the so-called Special Military Operation, it hopes to prevent Ukraine from potentially joining NATO. The argument was that this operation would stop NATO right in its tracks. But Ukraine is not the only country that would like to go down that path. Finland and Sweden are close partners with NATO, but have shied away from joining the 30-member alliance. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how Russia's campaign against Ukraine could be a blunder, with Finland and Sweden joining NATO. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN is a premium VPN service available for macOS, iOS, Windows, and Android with more than 5,400 servers in 60 countries. But why use a VPN or virtual private network? VPN is an encrypted tunnel. A VPN can protect your privacy, which is threatened by many factors like data logging by internet service providers. It can also help you access contents which are blocked based on geolocation. Why NordVPN? Its servers are fast and has zero log policy. Not only this, NordVPN has taken one step further and recently introduced a new feature, Threat Protection. Threat Protection prevents malware from getting on users' devices and blocks trackers, intrusive and malicious ads, and harmful websites. Use the link in the description to get up to 71% off the 2-year plan plus threat protection for no extra cost. At the checkout, use the code DEFENSE to get an extra month for free. Finland, the Nordic nation of 5.5 million people, shares 1,300 kilometers or 830 miles of border with Russia. Out of the 27 European Union nations, it's one of just 6 that isn't part of NATO. Finland's neutrality dates back to the end of World War II. In 1948, it signed a treaty with Moscow in which it promised to join neither NATO nor the Soviet-led Warsaw Pact. This forced neutrality has been called Finlandization. It's become a general term used for a process by which one powerful country makes a smaller neighboring country refrain from opposing the former's foreign policy rules while allowing it to keep its nominal independence and its own political system. In the 1970s, Finland began to strengthen its alliances with the West and also joined the EU in 1995. But support for joining NATO was pretty low, less than 30%. However, ever since Russia began its military campaign against Ukraine on the 24th of February, sentiments in Finland have begun changing. According to Time magazine, polls conducted by newspapers just days after the Russian invasion of Ukraine indicates support for joining NATO has surged to 53%. Former Prime Minister Alexander Stubb was recently quoted as saying that Russia is pushing Finland closer to NATO membership and that, at this rate, we have no other option but to join. Prime Minister Sanna Marin has stated that Finland will take a decision about whether to apply to join the US-led NATO alliance in the next few weeks. She said the option to join NATO had to be carefully examined. She added an important point. The difference between being a partner and being a member is very clear and will remain so. There is no other way to have security guarantees than under NATO's deterrence and common defense as guaranteed by NATO's Article 5. Sweden has long maintained a neutral stance in world politics. However, Russia's actions from 2014 onward have pushed Sweden to pour resources into its own military. Russia's war against its neighbor, Ukraine, has also provoked anxiety and a sense of vulnerability. The Russian invasion of Ukraine also prompted Sweden to send military aid, including anti-tank weapons, helmets, and body armor to war-ravaged Kyiv. The Swedish AT-4, which is an unguided, man-portable, single-shot, disposable, recoilless, smoothbore anti-tank weapon built by Saab Bofors Dynamics, is one of the key weapons that's been transferred to Ukraine. This is the first time that Stockholm offered military aid since 1939, when it assisted Finland against the Soviet Union. A late February poll commissioned by the Swedish public broadcaster SVT found 41% of Swedes supporting NATO membership and 35% opposing it. This isn't marking the first time that those in favor exceeded those against. The shift is now coming out in the open. Prime Minister of Sweden, Magdalena Andersson, said Sweden would not rush in a decision, but the country's assessment of the security situation would be thorough but expedient. Russia has warned Finland and Sweden against joining NATO. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters on a conference call when asked about the possibility of Sweden and Finland joining NATO, as per Reuters, "We have repeatedly said that the alliance remains a tool geared towards confrontation, and its further expansion will not bring stability to the European continent." One of Russian President Vladimir Putin's closest allies, Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, warned that if Sweden and Finland joined NATO, then Russia would have to bolster its defenses in the region, including by deploying nuclear weapons. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said last week the military alliance would welcome Finland and Sweden into its fold if they decided to apply. All 30 members of NATO would need to ratify each country's membership, which could take anywhere from a few months to a year. Unlike Ukraine, Finland and Sweden have much better interoperability with NATO. For example, Finland has finalized its $9.4 billion purchase of 64 Lockheed Martin F-35s and support services, whereas Sweden is the first non-NATO member to acquire the Patriot missile defense system. The United States is an important and close partner of Finland and Sweden, and the three signed a trilateral statement of intent in 2018 on their defense relationship. Even before the start of the conflict, this was predicted by us, and a video was also posted on the 15th of February regarding the possible adverse consequences for Russia if it went ahead with its campaign against Ukraine. The potential joining of Finland and Sweden was mentioned as one of the 5 issues Russia may have to deal with. Please check the video from the above card. If Finland and Sweden join NATO, it will be a major geostrategic headache for Russia and will be a setback in the larger game.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.